Disclaimer. We are two regular guys who love to talk Bone Thugs and Harmony. We do not represent Bone Thugs or any Bone affiliate. We are also not Bone Thugs experts. The views and information you hear in this podcast may be based on personal opinion. Please feel free to leave corrections and clarifying information in the comments. And enjoy.
Straight off the motherfucking internet. Two true hosts talking about the double Glock. Cecil, Johnny. Kick that shit, Feenics.
Beyond the harmony for the fans, we celebrate. Uploading the videos every Thursday, so join us. Beyond the harmony for the fans, we celebrate. Uploading the videos every Thursday, so join us. Beyond the harmony for the fans, we celebrate. Uploading the videos every Thursday, so join us. Beyond the harmony for the fans, we celebrate. Uploading the videos every Thursday, so join us.
Now let's welcome the doors back, folks, and get in the podcast.
What's up, y'all? Once again, it's your boys from Beyond the Harmony. I am Cecil West with, of course,
John Lippy.
And this is your weekly Thug Thursday. Tonight we got what I would say is a very instrumental piece of the fucking story. See what I did there, John? Tonight we got, of course, Archie from II TRU and Mo Thugs. I think we're going to uncover some huge information tonight.
Yeah, and this is another one where you just don't know what we may discover, but it's going to be something new, and I'm sure it's going to lead to some new rabbit holes, new breadcrumbs, new leads.
I think what's going to make tonight interesting is just the amount of time that Archie, covers here. I mean, he's literally pre-faces of death with these guys, right up to, at least family scriptures, which, is or a family reunion rather, which is, peak time for Bone Thugs. So this guy covers a lot of fucking ground.
Yeah, and he definitely fits the motto or the mold, the theme of our show of Faces of Death, uncovering all those tracks, and he is certainly a key member of the Faces of Death era, and it's going to be neat to uncover some of those old stories, backstories, the stories we didn't know, find out, see what we see.
Yeah. Yep, so we're going to do that here in a little bit. He'll be calling in, but before he calls in, we're going to do what we always do. Little bit of warm-up time. A little bit of just Bone Thug discussion. What do you got, John? What do you want to talk about?
Well, you had a lot more giveaways, it seems, this week, right? Did those happen? And we had a rehash on the Faces of Death winner. So one guy didn't claim it. Did anybody claim this new one?
Yeah, I don't know when people actually hear this recording. We're recording it as of June 5th. But yeah, so we fucking gave away Faces of Death. Nobody claimed it. I picked another winner. So far, he hasn't claimed it. And I'll tell you, just so you guys know, not only do we put up the video, we do all that, but I also go back to the original comment, the one that they won, and I make sure to reply to that, hoping that they get an alert saying that I replied to their comment. So it's crazy. So far, no motherfucking winner. Hopefully this is, by the time you guys are hearing this is on, a delay and we'll have a fucking winner by then. But as of right now, June 5th, this recording, we've picked twice, no Faces of Death winner.
It's crazy. Nobody wants to claim Faces of Death. Wow. Well,
yeah.
This will be funny if this keeps happening. It won't be, but it will be, but it won't be. But we'll see how this plays out.
Eventually you're going to land on... We got... it's funny because the people that won, I haven't really seen comments from them before. I'm not saying they hadn't commented before, but they're just not somebody that I see on the regular. So, hopefully if I have to redraw this motherfucker a third time, it's going to land on one of, the old faithful regulars that we have.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of people in the comments really want it. And this also goes to show, make sure you're commenting on the videos, give yourself a chance to win. We don't know what video is going to be the video that is the pool of choices. So give yourself the best opportunity and check out all the videos.
Yep. So we'll be doing a giveaway this month. We're a few days in. I haven't announced it. I will be announcing it. Probably by the time you hear this, it'll be announced. So we'll be doing some more giveaways. I love giving the stuff away, man. It's a good feeling. And I like, I like finding the stuff to give away too. It's cool to just find the different shit. And we got a cool Instagram giveaway right now that's going till the 22nd of June. So if you have Instagram, it's exclusive to Instagram. Cody Hillier, who made the artwork for the brand new Best of Mo Thugs, he's working with us on the giveaway. He made a one-of-a-kind Best of Mo Thugs poster. I believe it's 12 by 14. One of one with the Beyond the Harmony logo on it. So on this fucking Best of Mo Thugs poster, Beyond the Harmony, and it's signed by Cody, who made it, and then he's also tossing in a copy of the CD. All you got to do is go to Beyond the Harmony on Instagram and follow Cody, and comment on the picture, and you're in. And we're gonna pick somebody on the 22nd for that one.
It's pretty awesome. There's a piece of news I had. It's not really news, but something I had wanted to bring up on these pre-games. The past couple episodes, I haven't had the opportunity, and that's just to announce that the Cleveland Browns have been selected to be on HBO Hard Knocks. And a lot of people are like, so what? Just because it's Cleveland? Well, yeah, because it is Cleveland. Because right now the Cleveland Cavaliers are in the finals, and I saw that Bone was, I guess, making a song for the finals, possibly. I saw some kind of, and Bone was attending the games, I guess, at least, right? So you get the chance that if you're watching the finals, they may show celebrities in the crowd. You might get a shot at seeing Bone in the crowd. But with the Cleveland Browns, they need audio to fill all those episodes. So hopefully Bone will get a nod to at least have a cameo, maybe their musical be featured. And that's just what I'm hoping on. They've repped the Browns for years, so
I hope I hope Bone is the fucking soundtrack for the entire fucking, what is it? It's a season, right? They do a season of it.
It's done during the preseason, so it tracks the training camp process and who makes the team and who gets cut.
But I'm saying on like television, like the it's a whole season of the Cleveland Browns, right? Like television wise, it's not just one episode; it's multiple episodes.
Oh yeah, it's multiple episodes, and they aired during the preseason, is what I'm saying, and it tracks the preseason. So it's always like 1 week behind. So you'll see 1 week, like week one, it's all the training up to it, and then they show the episode, but it's always like 1 week behind, obviously, because they can't show it live; they have to edit it. But it's a pretty cool thing for Cleveland to have HBO come to town, and I know from seeing other media events that when the media comes to town, and HBO is not the media, but they are a movie company, or they're they make movies and TV shows. And when those kind of things come to town, people network and they get to see the city, and more projects may come out of it, and maybe even some music videos. So people network when these events happen. I've seen it happen plenty of times. So this could be a big thing for Cleveland and for possibly Bone Thugs and Harmony, maybe Mo Thugs. Who knows?
Hey, I fucking hopefully, like I said, I'll be pumped to whole soundtrack of Bone. Maybe they throw a little bit MGK in there or something. Ray Cash, whatever. Yeah, but give me some Bone. Give me some Bone during that Hard Knocks, HBO Hard Knocks. That'll be cool. I'll check that shit out. When I watch. Yeah,
and I'd say that if any of the fans have any connections to HBO, whatever, let them know that you guys like Bone, and that maybe suggest to them, hey, put Bone in the music there somewhere. They got to give a shout out to Bone at least once. So we'll see.
Before, and you know what? I guess I should ask Archie this tonight. But do you know, at the beginning of Thug Devotion, when they're listing off all the Mo Thugs, and they list everybody in the song, and they list a few that are not in the song. They also list Aftermath.
Yeah.
Who I believe, did is who they did songs
Flesh,
or he did songs with Flesh. Yeah. And I think, you know, he's Fleshbone Global and all that. I wonder if he was supposed to be a Mo Thug at one point. Like, I mean, because it just seems they wouldn't just be given a random fucking shout out with that whole list of their artists.
Yeah, and he's listed before II TRU and Trey. Aftermath, II TRU and Trey. We are Mo Thug. Yeah, and he didn't even have an appearance on, at least I don't think he was on the Mo Thug Family Scriptures.
No,
he's not on it.
Not to my knowledge.
So maybe that was a cut track, and maybe those cut tracks are what wound up on From Cleveland to Cali. I mean, was that the mixtape that he was on, or was he on an actual Flesh album?
I think he's on one of the actual Flesh albums.
Yeah, and was Blue Note, you know, speaking of Aftermath, was Blue Note a band, a group? Or Blue Light? Did I say Blue Note? I meant to say Blue Light.
It was a singer, right? Did the song with Busy Bone? I think it was it more than one guy? I thought it was one guy.
Well, on the chorus to Handle the Vibe, pedal to the metal, we see blue light. Is that what he's saying? We see blue light? I think he says blue light, and I think that was like a shout out to another one of the. I could be wrong, but I always thought.
I think they're saying pedal to the metal. We see the cops.
We see the cops, huh?
Yeah,
man,
like
all these years.
Blue lights. Like, you know, blue lights, like pedal to the metal, we see blue lights.
That makes total sense, man. Yeah, I've been looking for a group called Blue Lights for so many years. But that makes blue and red lights.
There is a fucking the Busy Bone had a song with somebody named Blue Light or some shit like that.
I could have sworn I seen. You remember how back in the day you'd always advertise your other acts? I could have sworn I saw that there was, I don't know if it was on Ruthless or somewhere, that there was some group called either Blue Note or Blue Light or something.
Well,
but
Blue Light was on the song Weed Man. You know Busy Bone Weed Man.
Ah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. So Blue Light's on that.
And that must have been them. Must have been them. And speaking of...
I fucking love what you thought about Handle the Vibe, though.
Well, you know what's funny, too, is speaking of misinterpreting names, or misinterpreting lyrics, a while back on the BTNH board, I remember somebody asked what they thought Crazy Bone's opening line was on Crossroads. And a whole bunch of people offered what they thought he was saying, like, after Follow Me, Rolls Row. And I said, yeah, I was making a joke, but I said... I always thought he was saying that the weather was going to be 7 degrees in Cleveland. The weather was telling me 7. And so I thought he was like, hey, let's go to the cemetery where the people are long gone and they rest. But he was also advising that you should accompany him on this journey. And if you do, you should bring a jacket due to the 7-degree weather. Chill factor. But yeah.
Just so you know, I see Blue Light was also on the Set It Off soundtrack. A track called Sex Is On My Mind. So I don't know if it's the same Blue Light that was with Busy Bone, but worth checking out if you want to hear more Blue Light, John.
Yeah, I'm writing the note right now. Sex Is On My Mind by Blue Light. Yeah, I've been waiting for Blue Light. I think I was waiting for any artist that came out that was advertised by Bone, and we never got Aftermath. Well, we got a lot of the other ones. You know, whatever happened to Majesty anyway? Was he in a group? Did Majesty ever join a group? I think I saw he was in some group, right?
Majesty, you know, was Seventh Sign. And I think, I don't remember, but I thought I saw on a board or something that he's kind of out of music and successful with, you know, something like real estate or stocks. Or there was something that he got out and started doing. If anybody knows the answer, you know, drop it below. I've tried to find Majesty a couple times. I love to interview him. I think he's probably got a really interesting story. And Majesty was like, I thought Majesty was fucking dope, bro.
Yeah, and you know,
Majesty, and I don't mean like they rap the same, but I would say like Majesty was like Seventh Sign's fucking Soulja Boy.
Yeah, I love that line. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? I have. Just the way it was phrased was funny. He was good, and I wasn't like too much into like East Coast-ish kind of rapping. I'm not saying he was East Coast, but it didn't really fit the Bone sound, but it worked on the couple tracks that he was on. So I did like Majesty as well. And
yeah, his sound, you know, his sound, even though it was like different than Bone, like when you listen to him on like Art of War, it went really nicely. And he had fucking 2 Art of War features.
Yeah, and I remember at first too, I was like, I wasn't. I was like, what the heck? And then as I got older, I was like, wow, this was actually a real good move. This makes total sense. On I don't know what's called, the War is on track 6. I think he was on the Art of War, and then obviously on the track with Busy. But yeah, and they were a good contrast too on that Majesty Busy track. Just the different sounds of the voices kind of blended well together.
Yeah.
Now,
No, he did. He had a good sound. Like, I think and I have no fucking idea, but I mean, I think that he just probably started to bow out as the seventh sign thing. And that's something that once we dig through all the Mo Thug stuff and all the Bone Enterprise stuff, we're gonna make our way. You see that we once in a while stab into the other parts of the story. We'll grab somebody from the life like Shutter Boy, or or we stab into the artwork. But the main focus right now is uncovering things about Faces of Death and the Mo Thug era. And with that being said, I believe we have Archie in here. Let me unmute here. Archie, you with us? Yeah, you hear us, Archie? Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for coming on the show with us. We appreciate you calling in. Oh, we're good, man. We were talking just a little bit. We were actually just talking about Faces of Death and Mo Thugs when you called in. So you called in at great timing, man. It actually lets us lead right in. Before I do that, everybody that calls in from Cleveland at this time, I like to ask. The city must be in an uproar. The Cavs once again in the finals. I know that does great things for your city. It must be wild there right now.
Oh yeah, it's going down here, man. Cleveland, Cavs doing their thing, Indians doing their thing. We just ain't got shit going on with the Cleveland Browns, but can't have everything, right?
Well, we were just talking about the Cleveland Browns actually just got selected for HBO Hard Knocks. So there'll be a whole season of Hard Knocks with the Cleveland Browns. So they're doing a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that. Hopefully, it'll make us improve our record a little bit.
Yeah, we actually said that too. We hope that's the that Cleveland sound makes up the soundtrack. Now, Archie, Cleveland, born and raised the whole life, is that right?
Yeah, born and raised Cleveland, man. Ain't never been nowhere but Cleveland.
Born and raised Cleveland. And is that how you went about getting connected with like Bone? I know a lot of the Mo Thugs said, hey, we grew up with him, we went to school with him. How did you end up making that connection?
See, I met Bone through Kermit. This guy named Kermit and K Chill.
Okay.
They the ones who turned me on to Bone.
Wow,
and then we formed our own little relationship, but basically that's how I met them, to Bone, to K Chill and Kermit.
So if you met Bone through K Chill and Kermit, were you doing work with like Stoney Burke and Jamit and those companies? Is that kind of how that connection got made? Were you working with them over there?
No, actually I was doing my own thing. I had a company called Big Daddy Coalition. And I had like all the little local artists, doing music for all the little local artists that was trying to come out. They'd come to me for beats. And basically that's how, I met Bone, because Kermit turned me on to them because they needed the tracks done. So, we used to hook up, smoke with them and shit, and, just make some music.
So let me ask you then, before we move forward into the Bone piece, you said you were doing your thing, but you met with K Chill and Kermit. That's how you got the Bone connection. What got you started, I guess, making music, recording, producing? I mean, what got that started for you to start, just out the gate that made you interested in even doing that?
What got me started?
Yeah, what got you started in, just the production and the music game to bring you to this place? I mean, when I talk to other Mo Thugs, that they'll tell me a story like, hey, I had family that might have been involved with like the church, so I played the piano there. Or what was it that got Archie in the music game?
Man, I used to sell, I used to, out there pushing weed. So I met a guy, man, this is back in the 80s. I met a guy who did music. He was a local rapper. And at the time, man, when I was coming up, there wasn't no such thing as motherfuckers going in the studio, doing music. So when I met this guy, he showed me his cassette. His name was Marvin Willard, Voice of Doom. And he took me to the studio with him. Then when I went to the studio, I'm like, damn, man, you actually do this? I thought millionaires only did this. So, I got to messing around with him for a minute. And then he sold me a turntable and a little drum emulator beat machine. And that's how I started making music. I was already a DJ. So I started, I started making little beats off this little drum machine and mixing it with records. And then that's how I started making music. And then I got a little keyboard and started three-fingering all my music. And, just started making music. And then I met a nigga that he used to rap, and he started rapping over my beats. And that was the beginning of me making music.
That's dope, man. So, okay. So now that we established where, you setting up, you said Kermit, K-Chill, you're working with Bone. Were you, working with them the whole time they were doing Faces of Death, or did you kind of come into that, part way through? What was the situation with setting up that Faces of Death project?
Yeah, I was in the beginning of Faces of Death. Kermit came to me with a proposition. Matter of fact, he had got me to quit my job, man. I had a good job. He told me that if I produce these guys, I'd make like $200,000 that year. Wow. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. So I met Lazy Bone and them, and, we started kicking it. And then that's when Kermit had got a little budget. It was like, I think it was $1,000 budget or something. And he went into the studio and we did Faces of Death. I didn't really care for it because I didn't think that the music quality was real, the way it's supposed to have been. But that's what Kermit wanted to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now I've heard over the years, and
we did it for free. It was a free project. It wasn't like nobody got paid for it or nothing like that. We just we just did a project. That was back in the early 90s. That was like 91, 92. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, because it got released in 93, so it makes sense you guys would have been working on it like 91, 92, depending on, how long.
I heard. I don't think none of us had a clue that it was going to turn into what it turned into. I know we didn't, but it ended up it did. So.
Yeah. Let me ask. I've heard stories that you had like a recording set up in your basement. People recorded in your basement. Is that right?
Yeah, everybody said to the face. That's what we do. It was on 105 and North Boulevard, right about the corner from 99th.
Were there any around the Bone Enterprise time, the Faces of Death time? Were there any songs that got recorded in your basement that didn't make it on that record that they recorded like with you and not with the studio?
Yeah, we recorded a lot of stuff, man. We recorded I think it was like, if it wasn't, there was like 25, 50 songs we recorded down in the basement. Wow. Yeah, we recorded. We used to record every day. That's what we did. That's my house. My wife would cook dinner, and we'd go in the basement and we'd record for 24 hours a day sometimes. We'd be out here from day to night.
Holy shit. Wow, so there was a lot of Bone, from that time that got recorded that like the general public hasn't heard.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of music. Man, Bone used to record. Man, they was record junkies. You ever heard of record junkies?
Yeah.
They was record junkies. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to get in the studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they went in the studio, they were in the street. So most of the time, they wanted to be in the studio to be out in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
No, what was the reception like in Cleveland for an album like Faces of Death back in '93 when that got released?
Man, they, and this is honest to true. Cleveland wasn't feeling Faces of Death. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they got a award for having the worst album, but
wow.
it was because they didn't, first of all, the production, the music, to me, quality music. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't sound like it should have sounded. It should have never been released, but Kermit released it anyway. So, the reception was crazy. It was terrible. You know what I'm saying? But once everybody got introduced to Eazy, you know how the saying go. When everybody sees that you is finna make it, everybody jump on the bandwagon, and that's when Faces of Death blew up. When Bone Thugs and Harmony was born, Faces of Death came out. That's when it blew up. But
right.
when it was Bone Enterprise, Faces of Death didn't even sell 100 copies.
I've heard a lot of rumors that when they became Bone Thugs and then Kermit because he reissued it, more than once, a couple times, just in '95 and '96. I've heard rumors that record did exceptionally well once Eternal came out. Yeah.
I mean, but that was a smart business move. So on business side, you couldn't be mad. I was mad because I didn't get the money off of it, but you couldn't be mad about the business part of it because that was a brilliant move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now Kermit gets free money. You know what I mean?
Did the perception change of Faces of Death after they became Bone Thugs and the album got re-released again? Did people like it a little bit better now that they knew Bone Thugs on a bigger level?
I mean, I don't know about like a lot of people in Cleveland, but the fans, the Bone Thugs and Harmony fans, they picked up on it. That's who picked up on the Faces of Death. You know what I'm saying? But like the local people, it was like I say, it was like a thing like when Eazy came to the Cotton Club and Diego was passing them CDs out, and people thought Bone was on with Eazy at that time. That's when everybody was loving them. They never even heard the CD. You just loving them because they was Bone from Cleveland. You know what I mean? But the perception of that Faces of Death in Cleveland, it wasn't well. You know what I'm saying? It didn't go over well, and it was Bone's fault. Cause Bone, to me, they was always stars, and they always had a style that nobody ever had, and locally, nothing. But the production was, like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't kind of a CD that I would have said this was. You know what I mean?
Well, of all those songs you had recorded when they were recording Junkies, like how were the 10 tracks selected? Do you know? Like, was it Kermit's decision, K Chill's, yours? Like, how did those 10 get on there?
No, that was pretty much Kermit's decision. Like we recorded a lot of music in the studio, but the 10 cuts was either chosen by K Chill or Kermit, because I think K Chill was like executive producer on that album too.
Yeah.
So, them two is the ones who chose the tracks. But they recorded a lot of stuff, man. Them boys did a lot of it.
So let me run this by you. K Chill, speaking of K Chill, he told us a story that there was a fifth member back then that wasn't Flesh. He goes, there was another member, and he remembered him as named Fish, and he goes, he wasn't good, and we ended up kicking him out. Do you remember another member of Bone that was around that got kicked out of the group?
Yeah, he wasn't really. I remember Fish Bone real well. He was a cool little dude, but he wasn't really, to me, like a part of the group. He was, Bone had an entourage even when they was young. They had a bunch of little dudes that ran with him. You know what I'm saying? Graveyard Shift was one of them. You know what I'm saying? Poetic Hustler. You know, there was a few boys that used to already they was running together. Fishbone was one of them dudes. You know what I'm saying? That just used to hang out with him. But
Right.
he really wasn't. He never really to me was like a rapper. You know what I mean?
So
He was just part of. He was just part of the entourage. And he was going way before Bone became Bone Thugs and Harmony. He was gone when they was Bone Enterprise.
yeah, K Chill said he got actually booted before you guys even started recording the project.
Yeah, he was a cool little dude, but he was just to me a hang around.
So speaking of just like, you know, the group and the entourage and the, you know, the crew around you guys, something that I've noticed is that Mo Thugs, as far as the term Mo Thugs and Mo Thug organization, that's been around since Faces of Death. I mean, it's even credited in, you know, in the thank yous, you know, the Mo Thugs are shouted out. Can you just tell us about the early years of Mo Thugs? I mean, was it always meant to be a record label? Was it just more of like a way to, you know, shout out like, you know, you guys as like crew? What was Mo Thugs even back in like the Faces of Death time?
Mo Thugs was lazy something. That was, you know, lazy them always saying, you know, like Mo Thugs, you know, did things and said Mo Thugs. They would always call themselves thugs, you know, but Mo Thugs was a group of friends. You know what I'm saying? Actually, that's all they was, friends. But they all rapped together. You know what I mean? And that formed after Bone Thugs and Harmony started. When Bone Thugs and Harmony started, that's when they started the Mo Thug movement. You know what I mean? When the Faces of Death was out, it wasn't no Mo Thugs. It was just Bone Enterprise. And then, you know, you had other guys that used to hang around them, but it was just Bone Enterprise at that time.
Yeah, well, I was saying in the actual thank yous of the Bone Enterprise album, that, you know, they thank and they shout out the Mo Thug organization. So that's what I thought. It must just be like what like Lazy or whoever must have called the friends. And it sounds like it didn't really become a record label until they became Bone Thugs.
Right, that's when they became a record label. But they, you know, they had a bunch of little friends in the hood that they called it, you know, they said it was thugging around. But I didn't hear Thugs until, you know, Lazy Bone asked me to put it down Mo Thugs. You know what I mean? When he said put it down Mo Thugs, that's when I heard the Mo Thugs name. And that's when they started the Mo Thugs label. And that was when they became Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Now, how did you get involved with the actual Mo Thug label? You know, you'd worked on Bone Enterprise with them. You know, they've now put out Creeping on a Come Up. You guys, I think Eternal as well. You guys start working on Family Scriptures. How did you get that deal and get involved with them for that project?
Well, like I said, we you know, I had a relationship with them doing Bone Enterprise. So when Bone became Bone Thugs and Harmony, they left Cleveland. You know, Eazy sent them 3 bus tickets to go to California. So when they went to California, that's when Lazy called me. And it was like, hey, man, why you didn't call Eazy back, man? Eazy was trying to get in touch with you. And I was like, shit. I mean, I tried to call that number because in fact, look that we didn't have cell phones. We had pages. You know, you had to have real money to get a cell phone. So I was like, I tried to call his cell phone number, but it was disconnected. I mean, it was cut off. So I was hoping he'd call me back, but he didn't. He was like, man, he was trying to get in touch with y'all because he wanted to sign II TRU. And I was like, well, shit, give him my number. You sitting out there with him, just give him my number. You know what I mean? Eazy never did call me at that time. Then I was out there pushing. No, I went to Atlanta because I thought Lazy forgot about it. So me and II TRU, we went to Atlanta and we got on with Jermaine Dupri. You know, that's when I got on with Jermaine Dupri. But Jermaine Dupri ended up, you know, he told us to give him a couple of weeks to sign us. And then when I called him back for him to sign us, he already signed the Brat. So he said he couldn't have 2 female artists. So I came back to Cleveland And when I came back to, so when I
That
came
makes
back to
sense.
Cleveland, so when I came back to Cleveland, you know, I'm hustling again because, you know, that's how we did. You know, we'd sell CDs, well, cassettes at the time. So I'm selling my AJ Welcome to Cleveland cassette, and I'm riding a 3-wheeler bicycle. Lazy pulled up on me. Like, man, what's up, man? I was like, damn, the guy is saying you, woo, woo, woo. He was like, man, what you doing on here? I said, man, you know what I'm selling these cassettes. He was like, man, you ain't got to do that no more. He was like, man, put it down, Mo Thug, man, and I'm going to give y'all 3 first-class tickets to California, man. And I was like, shit, Mo Thug. I put my fist in the air like Mo Thug. And shit, it was like 3 days later, man, we had first-class tickets to California.
I just want to ask a clarifying question, and you know, from earlier. Did you say that that there might have been interest from Eazy-E in II TRU?
You said what now?
Yeah, I was just looking for clarification. Did you say that Eazy-E was initially interested in II TRU?
Well, when Eazy-E came to Cleveland, he came to the Cotton Club. It was called the Cotton Club. This guy named Reno and Diego brought him to Cleveland. So
Yeah,
when Eazy
Diego
came
Black?
to Cleveland, yeah, Diego Black. That was my cat.
Yeah.
So when he came to Cleveland, you know, him and BG Knockout sitting on the pool table. So I sat on the pool table next to Eazy, and me and him got to chopping it up about my group, my II TRU.
Yeah.
So I handed him a cassette, you know, Jazz, Welcome to the Dark Side, and AJ, Welcome to Cleveland. And then he looked at it, he listened to it, and then II TRU went on stage. So that's when he was like, oh, shit. He was like, them little girls right there? And I was like, yeah. He was like, man, them motherfuckers hot. I said, yeah, and I also produced this Bone Enterprise CD too. So that's when Bone went on stage. At this time, man, the crowd going crazy because, you know, everybody think Bone signed with Eazy-E. So everybody's going crazy. And he was like, you produced that too? And I was like, yeah, I produced that too. He said, hey, man, give me your number. I want to call you. So
Wow.
I gave him my number. And he texted me, like we was headed home after the party, he texted my phone. My pager. It was a 973. It was a California number. But I didn't have enough quarters. To call him back because, you know, he had something to pay for.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll call him when I get home. I live across town. So it takes like 30 minutes to get home. So by the time I got home and I tried to call him, you know, 'cause his cell phone was cut off. So I ain't hear from him until, like, you know, maybe a month later. Like the Bone on West California, I heard from Eazy a month later. He called me directly, too. And we talked. And then we didn't talk again. And then I went to Atlanta. Then he called me while I was in Atlanta. And he told me to come back to Cleveland because he about to start a Ruthless Records in Cleveland. And he wanted me to, be the producer for his label in Cleveland. I was like that. So I got a U-Haul, packed all my studio equipment up, and I came back to Cleveland. And Eazy died.
Wow. That is crazy,
died.
man.
Yeah, he died as soon as I got back to Cleveland. Eazy died.
And just to think, you know, I mean, if Eazy wouldn't have passed, and, you know, not that II TRU wasn't great as a Mo Thug group, but to think about what II TRU might have been like as a Ruthless Records artist, because that would have been a completely just different look. That's a big thought.
Well, II TRU had, like I said, Jermaine Dupri was interested in II TRU. Too Short was interested in him, but
I heard something about Lil Jon too. Lil Jon, there was some sort of Lil Jon connection.
Well, Lil Jon, when I met Lil Jon, he wasn't even doing music. I moved my studio in Lil Jon's house in Atlanta and started producing little tracks for, like, little Atlanta dudes. You know what I'm saying? And Lil Jon, there's a funny story, man. Lil Jon used to tell me, man, like, man, y'all need to do some hooks. Y'all need to do some hooks. And I said, man, ain't nobody want to hear no motherfucking hook, a bunch of hooks. They want to hear lyrics. People want to hear stories, lyrics. And then Lil Jon, next thing you know, a couple years later, Lil Jon came out with this book called Who You With? And he became Lil Jon and the East Side Boy.
That's awesome.
Okay.
That is awesome.
My studio was in Lil Jon's house. That's my dude, man. Me and Lil Jon, I haven't talked to him in a while. But every time he used to come to Cleveland, he'll come and pick me up on the tour bus. You know, we'll go chop it up and, you know, have a good time. But Lil Jon was a real good friend of mine, man. That's who eventually turned me on to Jermaine Dupri. And that's a crazy story, too.
So the So Def deal doesn't come together because of Da Brat, which completely makes sense. I mean, Da Brat, II TRU, very, very similar lane there. And then you guys end up, Mo Thugs is created. You guys end up with the Mo Thug deal.
Actually, that was my fault with the So Def deal, because Jermaine told me to give him 6 weeks because he had an attorney named Vernon that wasn't in town, and that's who do his contract. So he told me to give him 6 weeks. I said, man, I'm gonna stay right here until we sign this deal, man. He was like, big dog, don't worry about it. He said, man, I've given you my word. I'm gonna sign y'all, man. Just give me 6 weeks for my attorney coming down, and then I'm gonna call you, and we're gonna get the paperwork done and get in the studio. But I waited 6 weeks. I didn't never call him back, and for 6 weeks, and then when I called him back, he told me he signed the press.
Man.
How much time was there between your So Def, you know, the So Def deal falling apart and the Mo Thugs deal coming together? How much, you know, time in between those deals was there?
Maybe 2 months.
Oh, wow,
it was like
not
2
much.
months.
Wow.
Yeah, because after that fell apart, I was already stuck in Atlanta. And then that's when Eazy-E called me. And when Eazy-E called me, I moved back to Cleveland. And then that's when Eazy-E died. So now I'm in Cleveland again and back from ground one. And then so I started selling these cassettes called Welcome to Cleveland, AJ Welcome to Cleveland, and Lazy Bone saw me out there. He pulled me over. He had a Red Park Avenue. He pulled me over and he told me, man, put it down, Mo Thug, man. You ain't got to do this shit no more. And I said, Mo Thug. And that was the beginning of Mo Thug.
So then tell me about the process behind Mo Thug Family Scriptures as far as recording that. Did you know when you guys were working on that it was specifically for a compilation, or were you guys just recording tracks and that's kind of how it ended up, was all as that big compilation?
Well, when we first started recording, we went out there with just to record. You know what I mean? Because we were still in the air about what we was doing. You know, because there wasn't no contract signed yet, none of that. But I had albums of music already done. You know what I mean? So when I came down there, I came to California with all my equipment, my computer, all that. And so we just started recording. And then next thing you know, they said this is gonna be a Mo Thug compilation. So I ended up doing like 6 songs on that album. I did 6 songs. And then I mixed it. I ended up mixing the song. And then I went to Dick Griffey. Not Dick Griffey. I forgot the guy's name, man. Right there on Sunset Boulevard. He mastered everybody's album. Bertie Grubman. Went to Bertie Grubman and I mastered the album. And then they called me. They sent everybody else home. Everybody else got sent back to Cleveland. But they left me out there to master the album. And then I get a call from my brother Tiffany saying that the album was sold a million, pre-sold. It was pre-sold 1 million.
Wow.
It was pre-sold 1 million copies before it was even at least released. You know, I was still mixing the album down. And they say it was pre-sold 1 million.
Wow. And that must have just been, the strength of coming off an album like E1999 Eternal Bone was red hot, and Mo Thug's Family Scriptures, was so well received. That was a huge time, I would say, especially for the Bone Mo Thug era. That 95 to 97 time was massive.
We was on top of the world, man. I cried like a little girl. I ain't gonna even lie to you, because I never in a million years thought that we'd have a platinum album like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but it was a dream come true. You know what I mean? But it was, recording that album, man. It wasn't no games. You know what I'm saying? was working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We was in the studio 90 days.
Was more songs recorded than made the album? Like, is there a whole bunch of Mo Thug's tracks that were recorded that didn't make it?
Yeah, it was a whole bunch of tracks, man. I recorded 12 to 15 tracks myself. You know what I mean? Then you had Soulja Boy, you had Ten Dog, you had Trey, you had a couple people that didn't make the cut, like Quita, Cindy B. You know, you had a lot of different artists that didn't even make Cat Cody. You didn't make the first whole thing.
No, Cat Cody didn't make it to the second one. He was great too.
Cat Cody was
one artist we were just talking about at the beginning of Thug Devotion, you know, when Crazy Bones, he's shouting out all the different artists on it. He mentions Aftermath on that. And I'm guessing that's probably Aftermath that went on to work with Flesh and Bone. Was he working with Mo Thugs at that time as well?
Cool. You know Mike and them? Yeah, Aftermath.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aftermath was what they did. They got into a little trouble. He had to go lay it down, and they was no more around. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Okay. And do you know, is that the same Aftermath that went on to work, you know, like, because Flesh and Bone has, you know, a few songs with Aftermath.
Yeah, they started working with Flesh and Bone, but the head guy named Mike, he wasn't around no more, so I didn't really too much hear from Aftermath no more once Mike went to jail. You know what I mean?
Right, gotcha. Okay. So back on Family Scriptures, you know, you guys are recording that. As I look over the credits for this, Archie, you know, I see there's so much production, you know, in here. There's such a big production team. Outside of the II TRU tracks and Ain't No Reason by Ken Dog, did you help produce any of the other songs on Family Scriptures or Family Reunion? I see you obviously heavily tied to the production for the II TRU tracks.
Well, technically, I only did tracks for II TRU, and basically only II TRU, because Ken Dog, I did the tracks for Ken Dog for the Both of One album. But after the Both of One album, Ken Dog started doing his tracks for other people. So basically, I just did my tracks for II TRU. And I guess that was a money issue or something, because then nobody, you know, the money wasn't flowing. So, you know, they wasn't going to pay you to do nobody else's stuff. You know what I'm saying? So either the producers had, the groups had their own producers, or they did their music with their mouths. You know what I mean? Like, basically, like with Graveyard Shift, you know, I thought Tombstone was basically producing most of their music. You know what I mean? Then that's where Romeo came in, and I don't know whether they was doing production or he was doing a keyboard play, but it ended up saying production. So, you know, but we, like I said, they kept all of us pretty much separate. So we didn't see what each other was doing. You know what I mean? I pretty much was on II TRU album. I was doing most of II TRU.
Okay.
Who would you submit the music to? Like, as it was completed, was Lazy Bone like the guy that collected all the songs, or who did you submit the songs to get on the album?
To get on the album?
Yeah, like I always wondered how all the tracks got brought together, if everybody's doing like separate their own thing. So how did it all? Yeah, like who was the collector?
Lazy Bone pretty much knew what I do. So they didn't pretty much even mess with me, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't no submitting. I just, you know, I did about 20-something songs. We, you know, II TRU chose the songs that we wanted to put on the album, and we gave them to Lazy, and then Lazy put them on the album, you know. He told me to mix some, master some, and that's how we chose to put what we put on the Mo Thug album.
Wow.
That's cool. So it was you guys that chose like Ghetto Blues and stuff. It wasn't somebody else picking those songs.
Yeah, see, Ghetto Blues was made in my basement. We didn't even do that in California. I made Ghetto Blues in my basement. And matter of fact, all the songs that we did on the II TRU album was made in my basement. I just came out to California to mix. I did most of them songs in my basement. You know, Lazy laid his vocals in my basement.
As far as, go ahead, John.
So then this kind of makes sense now, because you had mentioned Welcome to the Dark Side and Welcome to Cleveland. So were those basically all the were those the rest of the tracks that you recorded for II TRU that didn't wind up on New Breed of Female or the Mo Thug albums, or were those newly produced songs?
Well, Darkside was my label. I had Darkside before I even did Mo Thug. So, I was still trying to build my label, but I had to wait, like Lazy Bone said, I had to wait until I got on to do that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I never abandoned my Darkside Entertainment label, but at the same time, I was doing production, for II TRU on Mo Thug. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So, well, because I think Brina's album, it was either Brina or Jazz, had an album called Welcome to the Dark Side. And so I'm guessing. So
that was done in my studio in 92, 91, something like that.
Wow.
Oh, okay. That's now it makes sense. Got it. Okay.
So tell me about
we never did music in California. We just came to fix music in California. All our music was done in Cleveland. We came to California. We just came to mix and master. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought it was an album. I thought Welcome to the Dark Side was an album. Prior to talking to you, I thought it was an album that came out like after the Mo Thugs and after II TRU. But now
that I know it came out before.
Yeah, okay. It came out a couple of years before.
I'll tell you what's crazy is it picked up a lot of momentum with the fans after II TRU, was off of Mo Thug. And I think that's because the fans were so hungry for more from II TRU that they just started digging, and they found that. And it kind of got a second life again, and I think that's maybe why John thought it was newer than it was, because the fans wanted more than just that one. Was there something, if I remember correctly, before it was II TRU, were you guys like Big Daddy Coalition?
Yeah, Big Daddy Coalition that's what I was at first. Big Daddy Coalition consisted of II TRU, Bone Enterprise, a group called PCP, Dre Bone, Thoroughbred. It was a lot of little local groups that came from under Big Daddy Coalition. You know what I mean? But all Big Daddy Coalition was a production company. So I just make music, and if your artist can rap to my music, then I put them part of my group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what the coalition was. Big Daddy was big, so it was Big Daddy Coalition.
Did you? We saw that. We're not sure, but I think you did tracks with Southpaw. And is that true? And did you do anything with Built to Last by any chance?
No, Southpaw, they did all their own production, and Built to Last, I think they did their own production also. I just did Bone Enterprise, PCP, because PCP was on Stoney Burke label too, and II TRU.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So, you guys are on Mo Thug. You guys have worked on Family Scriptures. II TRU is very established, especially I'd say to Bone fans in the Bone world right now, or at that time rather. What was it? Whose decision was it? And what was it that made II TRU the first, I guess we'd say, solo album to come out of Mo Thugs? Whose decision was that? How did that come about?
Well, I can tell you my story. It might be a different story, but I got into an altercation with Lazy now. Over. I just recently found out, like, not even a month ago, what really happened, but this is over 20-some years ago. So, after we got into the altercation, Rob J came to my house, and he was like, I know what's about to go down. I know what you're about to do. Man, it ain't worth it. And I was like, man, listen, man, you already know what's about to go down. So he was like, well, listen, man. Eazy, man, said he's sorry, man. He was a little drunk, woo. And, if you want to just keep on what we doing, they give you the first opportunity to come out with an album. You know what I'm saying? So I listened. I thought about it, and I just say, you know what? That's all I'm trying to do anyway. I'm trying to get these girls out here, man, because I know once the world hear these girls, you know, it ain't gonna be no turning back for them. You know what I mean? So that's how we got into the studio. Now, if it was any other story than that, I don't know. But Rob J came to me and gave me the offer to come out with the first album. And that's when we went back to the studio and we came up with the New Breed of Female album.
Did you guys also record that in Cleveland as well?
Yeah, man, when I got to California, I think I was in California for 2 weeks and the album was done. The whole album.
Wow.
And then studio, I mean, we went to the studio, we mixed, casted. So when the album was about to come out, you know, I told them, they're going on tour. So they wanted us to come on tour with them. And I told them, man, we need to be promote this album. You know what I'm saying? We can't really go on tour right now, man. We got to promote the album. So ladies told us that they was going to promote the album on tour. But when we got on tour, that it got changed around. You know, we didn't never promote the album. So people never even heard the New Breed of Female album. You know what I mean? A lot of people never even heard New Breed of Female. But then when people hear it, they be like, man, damn, why y'all never bring this album out? That album did come out. It just never got the promotion it was supposed to have got.
Well, did you guys, had you shot the video for Ballers Flossin' at that point, or did it come out later on?
No, we shot the Ballers Flossin' video before the album came out. But we was guaranteed 2 videos. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this story. We was guaranteed 2 videos. Guaranteed. So the strategy was we was going to come out with Ballers Flossin', you know, showing how we was trying to get on. You know, we struggling, but we going to make it. You know, we watching all our dudes come back in flashy cars, but we ain't got ours yet, but we going to get them. Then we was going to follow. If you watch the video, it said to be continued. Because the second video, of course, came with Are You Ready? Now, if I don't know we weren't going to get but one video, we would have did Are You Ready first. Because to me, Are You Ready is hotter than Ballers Flossin'. But it didn't, we never got that second video. So I blame that failure on me. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, so how come the second one didn't come out? How come? Because we did notice the To Be Continued, and we were going to ask about that. But what was the reason the second one didn't happen?
That's what they dropped us before the 3 even dropped the second video. They released II TRU. They released Poetic Hustlers. You know, they just started releasing artists, and that was the end of it. Because we already recorded Mo Thugs 2. Mo Thugs 2 was already recorded when we was recording New Breed of Female. Actually, we recorded the new Mo Thugs 2 and New Breed of Female at the same time. It was like we had like 4 projects going on at one time.
Yeah, because Poetic Hustlers also dropped pretty close to.
It was we was recording Poetic Hustlers, True, we was Graveyard Shift, and we was recording Mo Thugs 2 album. All at the same time.
Poetic had 2 videos as well. They had Day and Night and Trials and Tribulations. So it makes sense that you guys would have had 2 videos as well for II TRU. Huh.
Right. But for some reason, man, I don't know who, I think it was Steve O'Bell, but somebody kept trying to tell these guys that we was trying to get on with other people, and that was far from the truth. You know, what we was doing was trying to remain loyal to Mo Thugs. Because if we were trying to get on with other people, we would have got on. You know what I mean? A lot of people wanted to, but we just didn't entertain it because we was already signed to Mo Thugs. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of unfaithfulness going around. You know, people looking at each other crazy. You know, Mo Thugs wasn't even Mo Thugs no more. We was like, so we all carry guns around each other now. You know, it wasn't the same. You know what I'm saying? Because it was poison in the group now. That's when the decline of Mo Thugs. You know what I mean? That was the decline of Mo Thugs. When Mo Thugs 2 came out, that was the decline of Mo Thugs.
As we transfer into kind of talking about the the family reunion album, can you talk about what that process was like compared to Family Scriptures? I mean, did you guys go into Family Reunion knowing now that this was definitely for a compilation and that's what everybody was recording material for?
Yeah, we definitely knew what Family Unit album was about, but our participation wasn't really with it. You know what I mean? Because, we already did 3 albums and ain't nobody saw no money yet. So now everybody kind of leery about recording. You know what I mean? You still had a few people that didn't mind recording, but a few of the groups was kind of like leaning back now, like for the II TRU, Graveyard Shift. Those groups was kind of leaning back a little bit more now. But then you hit Poison, MT5, Cat Cody, all them was coming into play now. So they was moving all the old Bone Thugs out the way. You know what I mean?
Is that why we only saw the one II TRU track on the Family Reunion?
Yes, absolutely.
And
now, did you guys have other tracks that were intended for that project?
As a matter of fact, we was released off of Mo Thug Records right after we recorded Pimpin' Ain't Easy. That's right. I mean, we recorded that album in Miami. When we left Miami, we was released off the album. Off the label.
So were you guys no longer on Mo Thugs by the time the album came out?
Yes, we was off of Mo Thugs.
Wow. Holy wow. And was that the case for most of the original cast as far as Poetic Hustlers, Soulja Boy?
Yeah, everybody got release letters, including Soulja Boy. Everybody got release letters. Some of them did go get themselves off because they was getting held back. I don't know. I can't tell you exactly everybody's business, but II TRU, we was released. Actually, they didn't even release us. They released a couple, but yeah, we was released.
Were you guys open to still do your own music if you wanted to continue pursuing it, or was that like not possible to do?
No, we were still signed. We was released, but we were still signed. It was like we was blackballed. You know what I mean? Like now, nobody want to touch us because at that time Bone was super hot. At the Crossroads, they was untouchable. So if Bone tell a label not to fuck with you, they're not gonna fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? So all the artists was froze. Everybody went back to the hood. You know what I mean?
Beyond the harmony for the fans we celebrate.